So this tutorial is all about renaming percentages as fractions. And as you can see below, all of these percentages are fractional percentages. One of the important pieces of information that we need to know is that the word percent itself really means per 100, or every 100, or out of 100. And that kind of helps us consider what to do with these percentages, particularly this last one here, out of 100, because we are going to rename these percentages as fractions, and I want to at least start with a denominator of 100. So it'll be out of 100. So that's how we'll start with each of these questions, out of 100. And then I just take the percent and write it in directly above. And from there, I have the task of turning 32.4 into a whole number. And I do that by moving the decimal point over one space. So it now becomes 324. Now, because I've done that, I have to do the same to the denominator. Whatever I do to the top number, the numerator, I've also got to do to the bottom number, the denominator. And in the number 100, the decimal point is here at the end. It's a whole number, so decimal points are always going to be at the end. And I move it over one place value, so here. And the place value I just jumped, I fill with a 0. So now it's not over 100 anymore, it's over 1000. That is an answer. This is a fraction. The only thing you have to be able to do, though, is to simplify. And you need to find the highest common factor in order to simplify effectively. Now you can see here, for example, 324 and 1000 is even, so you could just halve it, but you can get yourself into a little bit of trouble eventually just by relying on being able to halve, particularly if either the numerator or the denominator or both is not even. Now, if you don't know how to find the highest common factor, please go and have a look at my tutorial on finding the highest common factor using prime factorization. And the address for that is in the description below. I'm going to assume that you can find the highest common factor, and in this case the highest common factor happens to be 4. So I divide by 4. And what does that give me? 324 divided by 4 is 81, and 1000 divided by 4, of course, is 250, and that is the simplest fraction that we can get. So number 1 is done. Let's take a look at number 2. So again, I'm going to start by just writing in the percent, and then I need to make it a whole number, so the decimal point is going to go to here. So again, 23. The decimal point is here, and I have to do the same as what I did to the numerator, which is move it one place value over to the right, and I fill that up with a 0. So 1000. So it's again 1000. If I have a look, I see that 23 is prime. 23 doesn't go into 1000, therefore this is the answer. Whenever you get to a prime, just check to see if it goes into the denominator. If it doesn't, you can stop right there. For number 3, let's write that one in. So 106.5. Okay, so again, I need to move it one space to the right. So here, one space to the right, that becomes a 0. So I have 1065, and it's over 1000. Now we come back to knowing your highest common factors and finding that out. In this case, it will be 5. 5 goes into both of these numbers evenly, and it's the highest number that will do so, and you'll end up with 213 over 200. Now you can have that, and that is correct. You can also have, because it's 213, this is an improper fraction. So you can rename as a mixed fraction. So how many times does 200 go into 213? It goes once. How many are left over? 13. And so it can become this. Okay, how many times does 200, that's the denominator, go into the numerator? 200 into 213 only goes once, and there will be 13 left over. The remainder becomes the numerator, and you keep the same denominator. And again, this would be a correct answer. So that's how you go about renaming decimal percentages as fractions. It's a little bit complicated, but rewatch the video if you're not sure. If you think you have an idea, have a go at the Work Solutions videos. Okay, that's it for now.